Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle Hospital rant. You know, I'm sitting around healing up here from my cardiac procedure, and I was reading through all the different stories of the day. And, you know, one of the topics that really, I guess is dear to my heart is testosterone replacement therapy. I think it's one of the probably most progressive ideas that have come about over the last 20 years. And I remember talking to my mentor and great friend, Dr. Mike Hoffman, back in the 90s. And he said, as soon as these congressmen realize that more testosterone as you get older will give you better boners, he said, they're all going to legalize it. And you know what? He was almost a prophet in that sense, because I'm sure a lot of the hormone replacement prescriptions that became available over the last couple of years is because of the fact that congressmen realized that there is a benefit to it. It's not just every time you take an injection of a hormone, it doesn't mean you're on, quote, steroids. It means, there is a hormone replacement, dose. There's a physiological dose. There's a pharmacological dose, which we see in sports, stuff like that. But what's happening now is, I guess, in the current climate, we were able to get access to hormone replacement via hormone replacement clinics and via telemedicine, especially since COVID has come about. Telemedicine has become very, very popular because people, weren't going to doctors' offices. And to be quite honest, doctors can see a lot more patients via telemedicine. And not every visit is necessary to actually examine a patient, listen to his heart. A lot of times it's taking a health history, sending him for blood work, getting the results back, and then of course, prescribing. Now, obviously, if you have low testosterone and on your blood work it comes back under 200, you're going to probably have a medical need for it. Herein lies the problem. Now the government wants to, and I'm sure most of you have seen this out there throughout our YouTube community. The government wants to make it so that you can only get hormone replacement in 30-day supplies, and you have to go see a doctor in person every 30 days. So that would essentially eliminate telemedicine. Now, what benefit is that? Why does the government want to? Do they want to ban testosterone? I don't believe that's the case. No, because I think, going back to the old boner drug in the beginning, they're not going to ban that. That's not the reason. It's always at the top level a control thing. They want to control the flow of where things are coming from and how they're going to make money. Because to be quite frankly, I don't think the government thought there was any money in testosterone replacement initially, because it's a cheap compound and they didn't think a lot of people were going to take it. And now, everyone over 35 years of age is on it. So this is big business. So they don't want to let these compounding pharmacies that exist throughout this country, where they actually can compound testosterone cypionate or testosterone enanthate, and then these hormone replacement clinics can prescribe it to you via their doctors, like TitanMedicalCenter.com, and then you get a script, or you get the actual bottle in the mail with the prescription from the compounding pharmacy, which makes it a lot cheaper than you would normally pay if you had to go through like a name brand testosterone and get it through your doctor. Your doctor's not going to prescribe compounded pharmacy testosterone. He's going to combine, he's going to probably prescribe like Upjohn depot testosterone, which is really, really expensive. And I think that's where this is all coming from, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't panic right now. I think it's a good idea to definitely, contact your congressman. I'll put up a website that Chris Bell had mentioned in his video, where you can kind of lodge your complaints. Don't be assholes on there about it. Just go there and say, you know what? I have a right to be able to use testosterone. I've been using it for years. I feel great on it. I want to continue to be able to get it via telemedicine. I work real hard. I don't have time to take off from work every single month to go, renew my prescription at a local clinic. And it's just an inconvenience for me. Titan Medical Center has been a dream send for most people, because people can, schedule a block of time to do their telemedicine visit with the doctor. They tell them their needs, they get their blood work done, and then they get prescribed what their body requires. And that's just the end of the day. That's what we all want. Now, there's another way of settling this problem also. Why not decriminalize testosterone? Why does testosterone have to be a controlled substance? I understand the knee-jerk response they did in 1990 because they were worried about the Olympic Games, and they overreacted, and they turned what was a normal prescription, and that was testosterone, as well as all the anabolic steroids, Anavar and Deca, and all the other ones that they made in this country, and they turned them into controlled substances. So they basically made you a criminal if you were to use these compounds without a real prescription. And no doctors wanted to write prescriptions because the DEA was tracking every prescription. So they did that because they thought they were going to somehow clean up the Olympics, which of course it didn't work. That's another story. But why not decriminalize testosterone alone? I'm not saying to do all the anabolics. Testosterone, so there's no controlled substance nature of it. Now doctors will not be afraid to prescribe it because they're not going to be scrutinized every time they write a prescription that the DEA is going to come down and say, why does this guy taking testosterone? Or why do you have this person on this many milligrams per week? So that would certainly solve the problem, And, I think more people would love to go to their doctors and get a prescription for testosterone just because, their insurance might cover it. And if doctors are more readily available to write those prescriptions because they don't feel like they're under the onus of the DEA, then that might solve the problem. But more than likely, in the next couple of years, that's not going to happen. So we need our hormone replacement clinics. We need our Titan medical centers, and we need to be able to do telemedicine. So you're going to have to go to the government register.com or something like that. I'm going to put the link up below. And I want you to register on there, and I want you to lodge your voice, your opinion about the fact that you want your testosterone. And we got to all stick together on this because it's kind of disturbing in a way. It's like every time we make a couple steps forward with regard to anabolics and or testosterone, it's like we take a leap backwards. And I don't know if it's a regulation thing. I don't know if it's a control thing. Usually follow the money. I think the government wants to control it. I think they want to make all the money off it. I think they want the drug companies to make all the money off of it. And I think they see this is a leak in the system. It's leaking money to the compounding pharmacies that are not the drug companies. And the drug companies probably don't like it. And they're probably putting pressure on the legislators to do something about this. And of course, the legislators who get all their, political election campaign money from the drug companies say, we'll do whatever you want. So voice your opinion. I don't think it's going to pass. I really don't. But it might. And if it does, we'll figure out a way around it. Here's the problem. You're going to have a lot more, I guess, satellite offices in different states so that people don't have to, look around and try to find, where they're going to get their hormone replacement, which is just going to be a pain in the neck, of course. I hope it doesn't come to that. For now, though, guys, you got to support us. You got to stick up for us. We cannot let them take away our testosterone via telemedicine. It's just not the right thing to do. Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle rant.